stumbled upon it. Jessie was responding RSVPing to lunch, and she said, well, I'm reading this description on a website. I'm not exactly sure if we're doing it, but we've got a bunch of folks under our roof, so maybe we're doing it. So that was very exciting, and I'm so glad that we connected, because the space is absolutely beautiful. It just feels home, and it's got a really good working energy. And it also allows for people to be productive, and that leads me to a little bit of data. Office Nomads is a facility in Capitol Hill in Seattle. They just celebrated a 4th year anniversary, and they've done a survey with the members of why they chose co-working as a place to do their business. And so, 50% of them said that they chose to stay in co-working because they felt isolated. And now they no longer isolated. And the second largest, so that's 50%, and 35 was to increase productivity. And I'm sure you've heard that on the video as well. It's just, there's something really that happens when you're not in a coffee shop space, but you're actually in the place when you're here to do business.
That's the number one reason people are in our space.
That's right.
They get tired of working at home.
Yeah, I'm definitely tired. How I stumbled on it, that I'm a consultant. I don't want to work from home. I thought when I was working in corporate environment that's in Nirvana, but I quickly found out that it's not. I miss the people. So very briefly, a quick history. Co-working as a word, so by the way, there's no hyphen. I just had another moment of, because The Economist published an article. The Economist is picking up, obviously it's an economic trend. But they spelled it with a hyphen. There's no hyphen in co-working. The word was created by the computer game designer, but it was really used for the first time by guys down in San Francisco in 2005 when they created the first facility. Now, early 2012, there are 760 of them in the United States alone, thousands around the world, up from 405 the year before. So it's definitely on the upswing, and you might want to ask why. Well, economic trends, right? Many folks, like myself, hang the corporate hat and say, I'm done with this. Others cannot find a job, so they become one person's businesses. Freelance Nation, they are now calling us. It's this group of workers, individuals, indies, solo entrepreneurs, as they call themselves also. It's really fueling economy. And the last bit, in November of last year, the Kaufman Foundation had published a study of a new generation. Not surprisingly, they're not buying to our American dream. They want their own businesses and they want freedom. And 54% of them really want to have their own business. And so they are also that huge group that is looking for community and co-working facilities. And this is a page with resources. Here are the titles of 2 ebooks. Also, there's a co-working Google group, Wiki, a Seattle group. Welcome to go on our website. We are in the process of revamping. But SkagitCoworking.com has a lot of information, and then you can also email Dennis and I, and Dennis will be staying afterwards to answer more questions. So I'm going to pause here now and open up for questions, comments, as I'm being blind.
Renata, did you say those ebooks are available through you?
No, just, yeah, if you can search on them, yeah.
Okay.
If you go to our website, we've got lots of articles and links to websites and books, and so that might be also a good place to start.
There. Okay, thanks.
You talked about the 4 different formats of co-working facilities. I also remembered one other one. The 5th one is where it's fully supported by a municipality. And that is at least one I know of in Arizona that is fully supported. It's called Gangplank by the, I think it's in Mesa or Tempe. It's free. It is supported by the city. They have connectivity. They keep it's not a frat house, so they keep it, pretty tight. But the idea is that the city wanted it so much that they were willing to give a building, have connectivity and have utilities to support that community.
Yeah.
So what's the ideal co-working space look like for you guys here in Bellingham?
Well, that's an excellent question, and we don't know, right? This is why we're doing this event, and we have surveys that we have it here, hard copy, and we have a soft version. Why we don't know is that every co-working facility is different, is driven by each community's needs. Being in Bellingham for 2.5 years, I can see few of them of completely different character. That could be ones that are very just a co-working and it's a bunch of different industries. There's another one that could be around media. I mean, you know, I'd love to do a project with you and where like, you know, you have your needs met and then we throw some graphic designers, web developers, editors, and that will be another one. Maybe we can do something by the port for clean tech. So the quick answer is I don't know, but I so want to find out. I so want to find out. Thanks for the question. Yes.
Well, and I was just thinking about an earlier part of your presentation. We talked about the advantages of a co-working space versus a coffee shop, and it seems to me that, you know, as I'm kind of digesting that the advantage is one of the advantages of co-working, whether it's in a coffee shop or in a space, is that you have serendipitous interactions as well. And that with the co-working space, it's a more structured serendipity where you get folks that are, as you say, focused on some collective shared interest, whether it's building their business or in the case of eating green and 2020 and the like, you've got a shared group of folks that are sort of working in the same area. But I think there's a lot of value. I mean, if people are quite creative and you start exchanging ideas, which is just a natural thing to do, new ideas will come out of that can benefit, you know, each person in that conversation or each business that's involved with that. So I think that a way to think about it is, I think that there's probably room for a lot of different types of co-working environments, and I think that sometimes being more open to folks that aren't like you being and can take you to some really interesting places.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Very good point.